Didn't think I was gonna get to come on here and do this. So yeah. So again, sorry for the lateness. I was doing other stuff, like I said in my previous video, but here we are with WWE Clash in Paris. Clash in Paris. In Paris, France. Um, I have really no expectations for this. I mean, we are probably like WWE, like, they do things something right, but sometimes they will frustrate the fuck out of me that I question everything while I continue to watch it. And I barely watch the build of the show as it is. So, for a show that had no expectations, this pretty much succeeded in some. I mean, there were still matches I didn't really care about, but the matches that I did had somewhat interest delivered some part. So, and even the ones I didn't get, it kind of still succeeded. So, this was a decent show. So, yeah. And the friends, I was looking forward to that Paris Friends crowd more than anything since I didn't get to talk about in last year's backlash where they were in France. It definitely was in Lyon backlash. Now here Clash of It was in Paris, hence the name of the show. And yeah, they were hot for everything like I pretty much expected to be. How giggly then were they hot for this first match of the show as Bronson Reed taking on Roman Reigns. Like, they were singing Roman until they weren't tired. They were tired. Like, they all revere that man. Like, say you want about Roman, but the people definitely want to see him nowadays. And it's kind of a shame that it's happening when Roman still continue doing those part-time appearances. As I feel like since he's at a certain level, but I think that's why he's just of an attraction now because we barely see him nowadays, and when we do is special. So yeah, Bronson Reed Roman Reigns. This was a pretty good match. Like, you can tell this was all about from the story here that this was about Roman making Bronson strong here, and Bronson really pretty much did his best with this match. Like he proved like he can like belong at a certain main event level type of match, and against Roman Reigns that should be a good news for everyone. Bronson Bronson didn't and Bronson felt like he belonged at the certain least. So yeah. And yeah, this was a pretty good match. Like like I love how Bronson did the power bomb spot with Roman when he blocked the spin then turned into the power. That was cool as hell. And and like I think this was a match about like this was more about making sure that Bronson looked strong and competent as possible, even if it wasn't going to get the win, which she didn't, as Roman Reigns powered out the spear and pinned Bronson with the opener. And I pretty much expected since the story, a part of it was about the shoes and stuff. And I knew eventually Roman was gonna get them back, so I I kind of wish they would just let Braun win, especially after what happened in the match. So Roman won. He choked out Paul Heyman after the match. He got his shoes, but he threw only like threw them to the crowd. That was so funny bit. And then Braun break out of nowhere. Spears runs into the announcer table, and holy fuck, like did they spend some time on that? Like they went replays. Roman was getting stretched out slowly, and then Braun hit another spear on Roman, and they continue to end up the attacks. Bronson got hit like 4 or 5 tsunamis on Roman. I think Braun hit another spear on Roman, and one of them, the tsunamis by Bronson, Roman was on a stretcher and he continued right on. And this came on, and this went on and on. And then Jay Uso came out and he ate another spear. like, like Jake ran out there, and I don't know, that they kind of wasted the pop of Jay with this being friends after what happened with we saw Jay and the last time we saw him in France. You would think they would kind of save him, but they just threw him out there early. And he got attacked. And that was the write-off of Roman Reigns. Because he has to film Street Fighter this month. So, yeah. So, good segment. However, this went on forever. Like, I swear to Christ, like, I look at my clock when this thing, and like, a good 40 to 45 minutes was devoted to this whole exact segment. Like, like they had a match and they had a postman that felt like that went even longer than a match. And you can tell this has some effects on some of the timing on this show, because the next match had to, I guess, there were some elements that had to be cut because of this. And it's like, also like there was a lot of downtime to this whole segment, because they were, Bronson did, because Roman choked out him and he got his shoes, but he throws the shoe, but does it for a comfortable amount of time, a long ass time. Then Braun hit the spear, then went to replay, then the commentator, they showed the commentators for a bit, and then Roman was getting carried out, then Braun hit another spear on Roman, and yeah, like, they just keep entering the attack, but they took their sweet ass time. And it's like, this should have been better communication of production, so like they should, like, I feel like whoever produced this, like, should have done a better job of like pacing this angle, where instead of like dragging it on and on, which this whole post match felt like it was. So yeah, so good angle, but holy fuck, today dragging on this whole post match angle. Like, good match, good angle, but they need didn't need the whole extra minutes it pulled upon. So yeah. Then you got the next best for I think the WWE Tag Team titles. We got the Wyatt Six defending against the Street Profits, and like you can tell like the Wyatt Six they're the normal entrance, and and they had the lion stuff, and then they had to have Uncle Howdy like blow up the lantern like in full ramp, like in mid entrance. Like instead of what they do when it's in the ring, they did that shit during in the mid entrance, in the middle ramp. And yeah, that you can tell this felt like they were trying to kind of wrap it up a bit as I don't think the match was that was that all good. Like it was okay, but like you can tell like there was some time cuts feeling it throughout this match, and as it was, the crowd didn't care. So yeah, yeah, and this felt like a TV match more than anything. So yeah, so they did at the end the Wyatt says with thing here, and yeah, this wasn't good. Like this was okay, but could have been more. But with the post match thing in the previous match that kind of had effect. So yeah. Speaking of not good, the Women's Intercontinental title. Becky Lynch defending against Nikki Bella. Yeah, like this is like the second time where in a PLE where Becky defends a title that kind of underperformed. Like I thought the SummerSlam match was good, but kind of felt a little flat. And this wasn't any better. Like this felt awkward, clunky, sloppy at times. And like we all knew we had to know Nikki Bella hasn't had a proper singles match on a PLE since 2018. That's almost 7 years ago. So the ring was inevitably going to play a part of this. So yeah, and for what it was, this wasn't wasn't that good. Like it wasn't overly horrendous, but not all that exciting here. And they seem like those two didn't really know what to do with each other in the ring. And you can also kind of tell that, like, they weren't really sure how to do certain things. And at times it felt clunky. I did like the. It's like. I do like the finish where Becky does the roll to someone's shoulders and goes for the pin. I did like the finish. I liked how they're making some part of making that Becky is his finish, her stick. So I did like that, but yeah, like this this wasn't good, and like yeah, this was kind of another disappointing match. Like you would think it would be at least somewhat good, but this wasn't. This was mediocre at best. This match. So yeah. Thankfully, we got some hope for this show. At least for me. At least We got the Donny. It's called the Bonnie Brook match. The real fashion donkey brook match between Sheamus against Rusev. And boy, did these two deliver here. Like, this match kicked some ass. Like, and this was the perfect spot to do this match on this show with a hot French crowd that was gonna be ass folded throughout the whole thing. This was going to, and this was a great match. Easily the match of the show, the match of the night. Like, this was two big lads tearing one up on one another, and this 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 was great. I get, like I say, and they were really tense up with the brawls, with the weapons, and the one where Sheamus hit the white. I think the white noise on Rusev from the top of Danny, bro, and hit it on the table. That cut fell off so wrong, but they pretty much nailed that, and yeah, and it has some, and the last minutes of this was so terrific. Like, you thought one of them could pick the other way, and in the end, it was with the kickouts. But then it was Rusev who hit the shillelagh on Sheamus, knocks him out, and hit the 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 uh, the acclaimer submission hold. All the accolades. That's what I said. The accolade, and pulling back on Sheamus's back so he could get the decisive win. But yeah, this was awesome. Awesome Danny Brooke match. Totally the match of this whole show. If you need to rewatch this show, it's gonna be this match because this was terrific. Next up is Logan Paul versus John Cena. I basically did not care for this. I mean, it was good, but you know, I I can't even be bothered with doing this because I didn't care. Like, as a whole, the match was supposedly good, I guess. But like, yeah, that's all I have to say. Cena wins low, and he's going on to that national that's called Westapalooza. Weird ass name. Against a guy that is named 44 times. It says trafficking lawsuit, aka Brock Lesnar. Oh my god. I cannot even imagine how of a shit show that match is going to be. I mean, it's John Cena versus Brock Lesnar in 2025. Do you think they're gonna recapture any of the magic of any of the previous matches they have? No. So yeah, so count me out for that crap. So yeah. So Cena won here against Logan Paul. Again, so it, it was a good match, but I can't even be bothered to pretend I can't because I didn't really. Then the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins defending against CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Um, this was um this was not bad, but like the work that these guys did in the ring was serviceable. It was decent match, but like it kind of like you never really thought that Seth Rollins World Championship was in any danger here. So the lack of drama kind of hinders the match a bit because you never thought, even with the Braun Bronze being escorted out of the arena by Adam Pearce, you knew some scrutiny was going to happen at the end because it's Seth Rollins, he's supposedly the architect, so yeah, you knew some shit was gonna happen at the end. There was one really embarrassing table spot with Punk and Ellie Knight, I think. And Punk barely hit the table, and did not look good here. So there was that, and it got it got good, but then got kind of repetitive with some spots with Seth and Punk here. And then came the end where Punk hit the GTS. There was about to hit another GTS. And then all of a sudden, a masked hoodie, low bro CM Punk, and it's Becky Lynch. Unmasked. And he helped Seth Rollins retain the world title. They're now on full, on TV, linked together for the first time since 2019. And spoilers since the time of recording this, but this was all leading. Apparently, it's not gonna lead to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus CM Punk and the returning AJ Lee. And by the time you watch this, AJ did return on that SmackDown in Chicago. It was fucking incredible moment. That pop she got was insane, and I'm glad she's back. And I'm glad they are doing this to fresh up Punk and Seth because this whole thing has been super fucking repetitive for months now. Now you add Becky Lynch and AJ Lee to the mix. Now you can fresh things up with the feud, and it should make a compelling matchup for the next PLE called WrestlePalooza. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. The match was decent to good, even if you never thought Rollins' world title round was in any day. But the match and the work that these guys did were serviceable at best. So yeah, that's my whole thoughts on Clash in Paris. I had no expectation going in, but they sort of see on that a little bit. This was a pretty good show. Clash in Paris. And thanks no large part to the French crowd. They are easily one of the best, if not the best crowd in WWE history. So yeah, they certainly helped out things with the show here. So yeah. So that's pretty much gonna be my whole thoughts on Clash in Paris. Like this video if you haven't. Subscribe over there. Tell me what you thought about Clash in Paris in the comment section below. And as always, I'm Jason Maenius, and I approve this message.